Welcome back to This Day. Joining me now with Pacific Financial Planners is Jerry Slusowitz. Welcome back. It's so good to see you again.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Bobby.
Yeah, so tell me, did you do anything fun this Labor Day weekend?
You know, it just took some much needed rest and relaxation. How about you?
Nice. Exactly. I didn't go to any parties or gatherings. I just hung out at home and it was nice, restful weekend.
Great.
So last time you were here, you were telling me your daughter's pregnant. Has she had her baby yet, or when did she do?
March 1st is the due date, and next year is a leap year, so we're 1 day plus or minus.
Hoping it's not February 29th. I know, that's funny. Like, you can't turn one for 4 years.
Exactly. Well, fewer birthday gifts, so.
Yeah, that's cute. So that'll be your first grandchild?
Yeah, first one.
Oh, how exciting. Well, I wish you guys, your family, all the blessings with that.
Thank you so much.
So apparently it's Insurance Awareness Month. And so for here in the village, one of the life insurance, isn't that a little late for people here in the village?
Well,
or when you're a certain age?
Bobby, yeah, there's all kinds of insurance. Obviously, people have homeowners insurance, they have auto insurance, health insurance, Medicare is a form of insurance. There's insurance on your retirement assets. But yeah, with life insurance, depending on your situation, I mean, if you're not in horrible health and you have some sort of a liability that you want to protect against, you know, life insurance still can play a good part. Or if you want to, figure out a way to leave some sort of an inheritance, it is health related at that point in time. But there's a lot of different types of insurance.
Okay, all right. And you mentioned you can get insurance for your retirement investments. What does that mean?
Well, again, a lot of people, like you said, you have insurance on your car, home, health, etc. You can insure your retirement. There's multiple ways to do that using insurance. And it's this word that a lot of people sometimes shudder when it's spoken, but it's called an annuity. And annuities are actually very, very good. They provide safe, dependable, lifetime income, depending on how you structure it. Now, not all annuities are built the same. Some are good, some are bad. But when someone wins the lottery and they take the payments over the 20 years, that's an annuity. If someone retires and they get a pension for life, everyone who's got a pension out there, you know what they have? They have an annuity. So most people, if you ask them, do you like your pension? They're going to say, I love my pension.
Right.
And so, but they'll go, oh, I hate annuities. But so annuities can be very, very good because they are, like I said, safe, dependable, reliable income, and you could structure that to be lifetime income.
So are there different annuities that some are more risky, some are safer than others?
Yeah, the ones that people talk about generally on TV about, annuities are very expensive and this and that. There's one type called a variable annuity. And in the word variable, it can go up or it can go down, that they still would provide income for you based on the initial investment. But we don't really deal in that aspect of all because they are expensive. But their annuities come in kind of two flavors: immediate income, so you can put your money into an insurance company and they will start providing income to you for the rest of your life, like the pension, like the lottery winnings. And then there's deferred annuities. Deferred means I'm going to put some money in, either stagger it over time or put it all in at once, and then you're going to eventually convert that into income. Now, there's fixed rate and index annuities. So those are the two that I specialize in, as well as the immediate annuities, not the variables. I don't really do those anymore. But with the index and the fixed, it just depends on how your returns are. We have 5-year fixed annuities paying 5.25% right now, 5.25% per year with no risk. And you could either take that as income or you can have that defer till a later date when you want income. So annuities are very safe, but they do have somewhat of a bad reputation because people don't understand them.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for clarifying for that. And then what about long-term care? It seems expensive and, a lot of people might not need it. So, is there a solution for that?
Well, Bobby, you're exactly right. If you end up needing long-term care, it is expensive. There's no question about it. This is the number one reason that seniors are going bankrupt faster than any other segment of society. Plus there's that, the baby boomers is a big segment of it all, but they're kind of on the young side of needing long-term care because it's usually in your 80s that this typically happens, although some people might need it in their 60s. But so it's very expensive. So it's how do you pay for it? So everyone should plan for long-term care because like you just said, Bobby, is not everybody needs it. But the statistics are pretty high that 60 to 70% of anyone age 65 is going to need some form of long-term care for a portion of their life or for the end of their life. So there's ways to do it by buying insurance. So if you use insurance, you're paying pennies on the dollar as you go forward. Now, the old traditional long-term care was a use it or lose it proposition. They now have new types of long-term care where it's like life insurance with a very low death benefit, but with a very high living benefit to pay for your long-term care. So if you don't need it, it creates all the money you paid in goes to a beneficiary. So it's a much more efficient way, and a lot of people aren't aware of that. But you don't have to use insurance. You should still, even let's say you want to self-insure, which a lot of people do. It's like 80% of people self-insure, but many of those not through planning, but by default. They don't have insurance. Next thing you know, they're in need of long-term care, and they're going, oh gosh, we got to pay for it. So I really strongly recommend that everybody take a look and saying, let's plan for it. Which assets would we sell first? Write it down and insure whoever your caregiver is, whether it's a spouse or a child or a neighbor, whoever, will know what assets to sell should someone need long-term care. It's a subject that people really should spend more time on.
Is there a certain age that you should start thinking about this or planning this or getting the insurance?
It's a better deal if you're in your late 50s and 60s, but you can usually buy it up until age 80, but it's going to be a lot more expensive to buy the insurance. But let's say you end up using, let's say, $160,000 worth of long-term care. That might cost you $100,000. So you're still getting like $60,000 out of the insurance company should you need it. So, but the best time is when you're younger, but that's to buy the insurance. Only 20% of people buy the insurance. What they should do, everyone at any age should make sure they have a plan to pay for the long-term care. And I spend a lot of time talking about financial planning, especially for things like that.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much for giving us that. And so the next financial forum is coming up Thursday, September 14th. What are you going to be discussing this month?
Big surprise, insurance, annuities, and long-term care.
Okay.
Again, we're going to educate, just the steps that people need to take, what retirement insurance on your retirement assets mean, and again, whether or not someone needs life insurance, because there are some people who are younger and still certainly healthy enough that if you want to leave a legacy for somebody, insurance can do that, or you can borrow against your insurance policy, income tax free. So we're going to spend some time because it is Insurance Awareness Month.
Okay. And I just realized I wanted to ask a question about the long-term care. How do you know how much you need to have? How much do I need to set aside, make sure I'm going to have if that were to happen? Well,
you can look at today's expenses. Okay, so let's say it's somewhere between the cheapest stuff is maybe $5,000 a month. If you're in a facility, you're $10,000 to $12,000 a month. And then you have to start planning, well, if I'm 60 years old and I need this in 20 years, you kind of apply an inflation rate to that money and you say, how much will $5,000 to $10,000 cost me? Now remember, you've still got your Social Security coming in, you have other income and other assets, so you don't have to necessarily buy enough insurance to pay for all your long-term care, just to supplement those costs down the road. But it's a calculation, reverse math. It's pretty simple.
Is there a certain number of years you should plan for? That's like average. Most people, if they need it for 10 years or whatever?
No, much less than that. Generally, a male needs it less than 2 and a female just over 2 years. But the people with the Alzheimer's and those type of things where they're very healthy, but unfortunately their mind is gone, they need even more superior care because they could walk away and things like that. I mean, people have used it for 6 or even 10 years, but to have, somewhere around 3 to 5 years worth of long-term care is usually recommended.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you so much for all the information. I really appreciate it. Such a pleasure.
Bobby.
Always a pleasure to pick your brain.
Thank you.
Well, don't forget the Financial Forum is on Thursday, September 14th at 3 p.m. in Clubhouse 7. Definitely stop on by to check that out. Stay with us. We have a new TV show here on Village TV to introduce you to. We'll be back right after this.